Hi everyone. Before you connect your first data source on columns, I would like to give this short talk to mention that what is good data, columns expect, and what is bad. Of course, when you're using bad data, data doesn't necessarily be bad. When I say bad data, I mean some data columns doesn't expect. In that case, you cannot get out of the value because it just doesn't work. So I think it makes sense to spend a few minutes to talk about what is good data, what is bad data from columns perspective. I'm using Google Spreadsheets as one example to show you one good example and two bad examples. I hope using these examples to really quickly to illustrate what I'm trying to tell you the key points, what key point is, right? So no matter you're using Notion database, your Airtable, your Upload CSV, whatever data you are pouring in from into the columns, columns expect it to be record-based structured data. So okay, let's talk about the second term, structured data. What does structured data mean? Structured data means you organized your data, have clear structure, has clear schema definition. Schema means a list of columns. That's what columns expect. Let's take a look at one example. For example, here, when I say column definitions, we define name, we define price, we define sales, we define total. And for every single row after that, after what? After the first one, the first line, usually we extract in the schema from there. After the second line, you are starting to see a single object. For example, here, the second row belongs to product A. And it has its own price property, it has its own sales property, it has its own total property. This is exactly the record. What do we mean? Sometimes we also refer that as an object. So you can say here we have three objects, which is product A object, product B object, product C object. If you have 1,000, you can do that, right? You can just like keep scaling. 1,000, 1 million different projects or rows. You can have that kind of data. That is still good. Columns can handle massive data, but it has to be structured records. Okay, this is the first point we have to call it out. For this reason, let's look at one bad example for comparison, right? Same data. And this is a lot of people just say, hey, this is more human nature, human readable, because I just want to easily like scanning my data from first row to last row and see, oh, this is my first product. It has its own price, it has sales, it has a total. When we do Excel or spreadsheets, we usually do this, like manually enter things like informations like this. A lot of people do that. But this is not the way columns can understand. I tell you why, because look at it here. We have name as the first column, product A as second column. Basically, we just like reversed it. Every single column now becomes an object, becomes a record. The problem is, think about it. If you have 1,000 different products, or even 1 million, are you going to have like 1,000 and 1 million columns? So any data we connect to columns, we hope you can scale in the rows directions, not columns directions. That's what columns means, right? We're trying to deal with all the structured data which can scale by rows. So I think that's clear. In this case, if you connect these data to columns, it just recognizes product A, product B as semantic definitions like schema, right? Product B, is product B a column name? In this case, we should say no. The second bad examples I want to get into is basically format and the structure change. Right? Usually for font, color, those kind of styles, it doesn't matter because when we pull data from spreadsheets, Airtable or Notion, right? They all have this kind of like properties applied. But we still can only care about the data itself, so it doesn't matter. So what matters? Look at these examples. There's two bad parts. One is a first row. This is what columns expect to extract the schema from. But here we put the title there because we're trying to format it and present it to user. So this kind of data should not connect it to columns. Once you connect this one, columns will generate, treat the second row as data, actually. They will say, oh, this is an object, and the column schema will be call 1, call 2, call 3, call 4. It's some automatic name. And it's meaningless. And you lose the semantic definition for the whole table. This is the first bad part. The second bad part is you are putting some summary there, or you are even just like insert some summary in the middle. Sometimes you group first 10 rows, second 10 rows, something like that. That kind of behavior we do a lot, right? But that's all manual work with Excel spreadsheets. When we connect to columns, we should keep it raw as possible. When I say raw, it means you should not do any aggregations in spreadsheet itself, because columns is supposed to super fast to run all the different queries combination, aggregation, sum value, average value, pick the medium values, all this kind of a computation for you. So you don't need to do these kind of things at all. Instead, as long as you keep your data as structured without this kind of like merged cells, title or food, summary, it should be good. Because we call those type of data as raw data with clear structure, clear semantic schema. This is all 2 examples. I believe there's tons of bad examples out in the real world, but I just want to take these simple examples to illustrate my point, which is we expect you have clear column definition, and every column list all the values for each record, and the record is laid out row by row, and you can just like keep it in mind, record by record, and with clear schema definitions with columns. That is the good data columns expect. So before you connect any data on columns, just keep in mind, this probably will help you a lot, as what I've observed in the past. Thank you. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. We can always look into data and diagnose and providing as much support as we can. Thank you so much.